due to some scandals and some nonprofits, such as national nonprofit scandals at the United Way nationally, at Red Cross nationally, where overhead was deemed exorbitant, and some spending by some senior leaders was really over the top. The long-held belief that overhead is bad in the nonprofit sector has kept us from being as strategic as we need to be, because just as you would never go into a restaurant and feel that they should not spend money on tables and silverware and menus, etc. I know we wish we could go in again, but overhead is necessary, and actually smart spending on overhead allows the organization to be adaptable. It allows them to have the tools they need to execute. So the overhead myth, I was once presenting at what was called the industry breakfast for the BIA, and I presented the status of the sector. This was about 12 years ago, and a gentleman raised his hand and said, you know, nonprofits should only have 15% overhead. And I immediately said, you know, I know that used to be the feeling, but to be effective, the tools we need to be effective and meet our really challenging missions requires strong technology, requires appropriately paid staff, requires tools where we can really move the needle. So when you get those questions, try to not feel that overhead is something you need to keep at 15%. There are no markers in the sand. You spend appropriately on overhead to get the job done. The other myth is salaries will be kept low, that it's a virtue. Well, nonprofit leaders, nonprofit staff have families, have deserve a livable, if not a strong, good wage. They're doing work that we prize in our community. They too should be paid appropriately. And a myth that you can always do more with less. Well, you can do less with less, and that's all I'm going to say. Advertising is bad. I think selling and advertising has a connotation of hawking wares. I think getting your message out, being highly visible, having a strong brand, having people understand who you are and what you do is critical. Nonprofits are not supposed to make profit. Yeah, you actually really need to make profit so that you can reinvest in serving more people, in having those strong salaries, and being around for a long time to come.